Hey everybody, we're back at Tasca Automotive here at 1300 Pontiac Avenue in Cranston. It's a beautiful spring day here in Rhode Island, and I'm very excited to present to you this, the brand new 2024 F-150. Let's get into it. Now, Ford has come out with their newest version of their best-selling vehicle, and did you know that the Ford F-150 and the Ford F-Series in general is not only the best-selling pickup truck in America, but it is the best-selling vehicle in the USA. And Tasca has a whole bunch of them. But the thing I wanted to show you about this one today is this is kind of how I'd spec mine. This is an F-150 STX, and that used to be available on the XL trim level, but now the STX is its own trim level. Let's take a look. So of course, let's start off with the important stuff. This being an F-150, Ford's got a lot of great engines, but my favorite, of course, is the 5.0 that's in this one. Now in the 2024 F-150 lineup, gone is the naturally aspirated 3.3 liter non-turbocharged engine, and now the base engine that comes in the XL trucks and can come in any model really, other than the Platinum Limited and upper models, is the 2.7 liter twin turbo, which we've become very familiar with in a lot of the Ford products and Lincoln products. So you can get the 2.7, you can get this, the 5 liter V8, woohoo! And you can also get the 3.5 liter EcoBoost, tons of torque. And then lastly, there's the 3.5 liter EcoBoost with the full hybrid option. Now, this one here, like I said, has the 5 liter, and they're all hooked up to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and you can get them in 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. This one, of course, we're here in New England. This one's a 4-wheel drive model. So let's talk about the styling for 2024. This being the STX, it has its own different grille. We have the Ford symbol here, which actually has some beautiful raised lettering. I actually thought it lit up at first, but it's just bright white. We have nice black surround LED headlights on this model. And of course, we have black 20-inch wheels on these hand-cooked Dynapro AT2 tires. Now this is a 275/60/20. There are so many wheel and tire options you can get in an F-150. You can still get it with an 8-foot bed in a regular cab or a crew cab like this one. You can get it in all kinds of configurations and still get it in 2-wheel drive. But like I mentioned earlier, this one, of course, is 4-wheel drive. So as we go around the side of the 2024 F-150, I wanted to point out something to you that I actually really like about these trucks, and it's this little dip in the glass here. It makes it so much easier to see out of these side mirrors, and this, even though it's a big old truck, you'll be confident with these mirrors. I've driven this. It's great on the highway. It's great for merging, no blind spots, and of course, it has the blind spot monitor, which I find is super helpful in the larger vehicles. As we go down the side here, Ford option side steps. So if we move around the back here, obviously, it being a pickup truck, the tailgate is super important. I'm going to show you a couple neat things about it. In addition to this having the tow package, we have our receiver here, all our hookups for our trailer, and our backup camera. We flip this down right here. This one has the optional spray and bed liner, which I always recommend to everyone. And then as we go over here, what I really like is if we look here, this little indentation here, this is for actually, you can put a clamp on this. So if you're cutting wood on the tailgate of your truck, you actually have something to clamp to, which I think is a really neat feature. Another thing I'd like to add is that the new 2024 F-150 does have best-in-class payload capacity and best-in-class towing at 13,500 pounds when equipped properly. And of course, that's a great thing to have. Another thing I like, in addition to the wonderful backup cameras, and I'll show you the high-resolution camera that's in the center of the dash, we have these backup sensors which can be super useful. All right, you join me on the interior of the brand new 2024 F-150, and there are a few things I'd like to point out. Now, all of the trucks come with both digital screens, one here in the center and one in front of you, as opposed to the manual dials, which I really like. And as we know with new pickup trucks, they kind of have to do everything. They have to carry people, things, they have to be able to go to dinner and be a workhorse. And the F-150 does all of those things fantastically. I love the new gauge layout. It's super easy to read. And as you can see, it's very bright here today, which doesn't happen often here in good old Rhode Island this time of year. But it's very easy to see even with sunlight coming in on it. If we go over here, we have our column shift in this model. You can also get a console shift, power windows, power mirrors. We have our grab handles, and one thing that almost no new cars have that I noticed this one does is a sunglasses holder. Gotta love that. So moving on to the steering wheel, the F-150 has a nice sturdy steering wheel. Of course, it's an F-150. We have all of our cruise control buttons and everything to control the stereo. Like I mentioned, I really like this digital display, super easy to see. The new F-150 has something called Pro Trailer Backup Assist, which I find is very useful, especially backing up to a trailer, you don't need 2 people. You can pretty much do it with 1 finger. Gone are the days of having somebody going, yeah, come back, oh, quarter inch up, quarter. This will do it for you with the camera system and everything when equipped. And I've used that system and I find it super easy to use. And the best thing is 1 person can hook up to a trailer, which is great. We go over here, this one of course is 4-wheel drive. We have the optional rear locking differential on this one, 2-wheel drive high, 4-wheel drive high, and 4-wheel drive low. And some models also have the 4 auto, which works as an all-wheel drive. Over here, one thing I love about the F-150 is that they have kept the buttons and knobs so you don't have to poke around in the screen constantly trying to adjust your air conditioning or what have you. So we have an actual volume knob, huge fan of that, an actual tuning knob, actual buttons, and the nice thing is I have found in F-150s of the past, and of course this one is similar setup, you can actually use these buttons when you have gloves on, which I find great, especially these knobs, which are really nice. The resolution in the new screens is fantastic, and especially if we scroll over here and I put this in reverse, I love the huge screen. It's super easy to maneuver in a parking lot. I've been driving around this tight parking lot. I've parked it, turned it around 3-point turns, and this camera's been fantastic. We go over here, we can access all of our cameras on the truck. We have our hazards and of course our traction control. Going down here, one of the nice things about the F-150s, it's always been great with storage. So we have a huge space down here to put your things. We even have a coin holder over here, which you don't see often. Big fan of that. In here, we have our drink holder, a place to put your phone, an enormous center console, which is always great in a pickup truck, and more drink holders in the back, because if you have a bunch of people, either you're on a road trip or you're going to dinner or you're just taking work people from place to place, it's always great to have a bunch of drink holders. And of course, there are huge pockets in the door to put anything you want. And another thing I really like is this great cubby hole right in front of the passenger. So a couple of driving impressions of the new F-150 are that it is super quiet. I actually have an older F-250, and it certainly is, it's not quiet at all. This is like riding in a luxury car. At highway speeds, there's very, very little wind noise. It tracks nicely down the road. It's easy to change lane. The mirrors are easy to see out of. I don't find any blind spots, and I don't find that in a lot of cars because I'm only 5'7", so a lot of people, I find my height, have a lot of blind spots, especially in a large vehicle like this, but not so in the 2024 F-150. The other thing is, for the size of truck, I mean, this is a large vehicle, the turning radius is really good. And the way they've weighted the steering is very nice. It's not over boosted to the point where you're like, I can't really feel anything, but it's not too heavy either, which makes it a breeze in a parking lot, or like I said, when you're backing up to your trailer, or just maneuvering it in general. One thing that I've always really liked about the F-150s is that you can kind of configure them any way you want. Me personally, this is kind of the truck I would have. This is a crew cab STX model with the 5-liter V8. Being a car person, hosting a car show, we love a V8, and it makes all the right noises, and it certainly has a lot of grunt. The 2.7 twin turbo, plenty of power. The 3.5, even more torque than this 5-liter V8, and all of the engines are great for towing. So the 2024 F-150 does not disappoint. I really like the redesign. I like that they kept all the great things from the 2023 and they've carried over some new things to help out in the 2024. I like the way the steering is. The brake pedal is easy to modulate across a parking lot, so you're not going through the windshield, which I cannot say of certain other trucks I've driven lately. I feel completely at home and comfortable in this. The seats are super comfy, and I like all of the equipment. Now you can have this as an entry-level XL model with just the 8-foot bed and regular cabin. You can go all the way up to the limited and platinum models depending on what you want. I want to thank Tasca for letting me check out this new 2024 F-150. Like I said, definitely a great vehicle to check out if you're in the market for a pickup truck. It's a great size. It kind of does everything for everybody. It's great for the workplace. It's great for going to dinner. It's great for going on ski trips, road trips, or what have you. The F-150 can do it all. Come down to 1300 Pontiac Avenue here in lovely Cranston, Rhode Island, and check one out at Tasca, and we'll see you here next time.